When I say, who's the master, you say, so
Welcome everybody. Showing up the King here, and I'm here to do a discussion / rant on the new Xbox, now named Xbox One. Not the number one, ONE1. As you can tell, this is going to be a difficult video for me because I am a huge gamer. I am I've been an original gamer, to borrow something from Freddie View, since I was E for Everyone. And, you know, I personally have had a small thing of doubt when it came to next-gen systems. You know, the PlayStation 4 reveal was about 2-3 months ago. And I wasn't overly impressed, but I wasn't completely disappointed. You know, we've already seen what the Nintendo had to do about their new next-gen system, which in my opinion was a complete failure. Again, but I'm not here to bash Nintendo right now. I'm here to talk about Microsoft. Because if I had to choose a system that I prefer over everything else, it would be Microsoft. I've owned about literally 6 to 7 Xboxes since the 360 has released, and mostly because of the Red Ring of Death. Again, not here to bash Microsoft in that regards to the Xbox 360, but it clearly shows that, you know, I have been loyal to them thus far. Now, again, I also own a PlayStation 3. I own the original PlayStation 3, and that one has not broken on me at all. Just saying. So, but the reason why I'm here to talk about, you know, Microsoft revealed their new systems to everybody, and, you know, they talked about the new specs, they showed the look of the system, and I'm here just to bring you guys my thoughts on that. I'm going to kind of start off with what I enjoyed about the presentation, and then I'm going to talk about what I didn't like about the presentation, and then I'm going to get into the nitty-gritty and just talk about the likes and dislikes altogether and what I feel overall about this new Xbox. So just bear with me. And again, like I said, this is going to be a kind of interactive kind of thing. Like, I really want to get you guys' feedback on what you thought about the actual system. What did you enjoy? What were you looking to hear? And then I'm also going to answer some rumors, because there was a lot of questions they did not answer. And since the actual presentation, a lot of other questions have been answered and quote-unquote confirmed. And I'm going to talk about those as well. So enough of that. Let's just go ahead and jump into this discussion. So, I'm going to talk about what I did enjoy. Now, the main focus of the actual event was to introduce the Xbox One. So they're kind of trying to do this whole play on, saying that this is the only device you need in your living room to control your entire living room. They're saying that, oh, it's going to work with your current cable provider to, you know, provide you with this extra, you know, information and extra little things that it can do. You know, they talked a little bit about the fact that the new Xbox can integrate with your TV, so that you can say things like Xbox TV and it'll instantaneously turn to the TV. They said things about, you know, it'll have the internet browser. You can, you know, basically just communicate greatly with the actual Xbox. And I actually like that stuff. There were a lot of different things that they showed off with the TV. Stuff that I actually enjoyed. I like the fact that you can switch AVs without having to use remote control. Now, I also enjoyed the fact that you could be playing a movie and you can just, you know, push your hands together and then the Internet Explorer comes up, and, you know, you can switch in between. Again, you can switch in and out of each program seamlessly. It was very inventive, something that was very, very cool. I enjoyed that. One of the other things that I really enjoyed was the Skype feature. We all know that Microsoft owns Skype now, and they have integrated the Skype in the new Xbox One. Again, and they showed it off where the guy was, you know, watching ESPN and checking his fantasy football stats, and then he got an incoming Skype call, and he was able to answer the call, and then there was a video at the same time as them doing other stuff. I think that stuff is all very cool. It's all the little, it's the little things that do matter sometimes. Now, is it enough for me to want to switch over? That's to be said, and I'll get into that later. But it is definitely one of the cool things about this new Xbox that I really, really dug. Because again, Xbox kind of invented immersive gameplay, meaning, they were the first ones to come out with it so that you could be playing a video game and also be chatting with other people as they're playing other video games. So not only could I be playing somebody in Halo and be speaking to my team, but if I wasn't actually in an actual team environment, I could be talking to another buddy who's watching a Netflix movie or watching some other TV show or playing a different game entirely. So Xbox, I definitely give them credit with that. That was one of the best features that they had. And I will admit that when it came to entertainment, Xbox did deliver. And then in that case, PlayStation kind of crept up and kind of grabbed onto their coattails and kind of followed them into that dimension. Now, of course, they talked again about the Netflix integration. And again, we all, like I said, we all know that the only way to watch Netflix is on the Xbox 360. Now, I can attest to the different versions of different versions of Netflix that I own, because I have a PlayStation 3 that I have Netflix on. I have Netflix on my phone, I have Netflix on my Xbox, and I also own a Roku box, which I also have Netflix on as well. And through all of those different versions of things that you can play Netflix on, the Xbox version is by far the more superior version. Just the menus that you can scroll through, the ability to automatically start and replay the next episode while still getting the previews from the other episode, just things of that nature. Again, all that kind of stuff I really, really enjoy. Now, as you notice so far, I haven't talked about games. And when we're talking about a video game system, I guess you should be talking about games. But most of their focus was actually on the entertainment value of the Xbox. Now, they also talk about the Kinect. The new Kinect will have a 1080p camera. It has all these crazy amounts of specs. Like I said, they didn't really emphasize a lot on the actual Kinect sensor yet. I think they're going to wait for E3, by the way, which is in 20 days, so mark it on your calendars. And then we'll jump to the controller. Now, this is probably the best part for me about this reveal, and I'll tell you why. Many people in the gaming communities have already come to a consensus that the Microsoft Xbox 360 controller is the peak of controller excellence. I mean, if you want to just, look at the echelon of what a controller is, it's the Xbox 360. Again, I think for a long time the PlayStation 3 controller hasn't changed, and the PlayStation 3 controller is at a close second. But again, I think when most people are playing first-person shooters, they're playing fighting games, the Xbox 360 controller is that kind of controller that you want to play on. It's actually to the point where I actually own a Xbox 360 modeled controller, but for my PlayStation 3. As a matter of fact, I think I can show it to you guys if I have it. Sorry about that. I know it's not something that normal people do, get up from the computer, but I'm going to do it. Yeah, so this is my Xbox 360 controller, but it's actually for PlayStation 3. I actually got it online. When you hit the little button, the controllers light up, and it's a red color. It's really cool. It has the trigger buttons and everything. But again, this is for PlayStation 3, made specifically for PlayStation 3, and it only works for PlayStation 3. So yeah, that's just to show you, once you kind of play a video game on Xbox 360, you kind of get used to that kind of controller. So anyway, again, like I said, the new controller, that's the benefit. The new controller hasn't changed much at all. It looks like they made little small finite detail changes, which were great, and nothing really else changed. They made it, the trigger buttons are going to have their own individual inputs, not inputs, but their own individual responses. And they talked a little bit about it. I don't think there's going to be any touchscreen integration. I don't think they're going to go that route. I think the extras are left with the Xbox 360, the Xbox Kinect sensor. In relation to games, they showed off. Well, it's kind of hard to take. It's kind of hard to talk about the games right now as a like, and I'll explain why later. So those are kind of the things that they did talk about at the presentation that I did like. Now let's talk about what I did not like. And I will start with the games. I did not like the fact that they did not show any real in-game games. I'm a gamer. Yes, having Netflix and having Skype and Facebook and Twitter and all that other stuff. That's nice little gimmicks that you can put into the system as an extra charge, or no, not as an extra charge, but as an extra little tidbit that you can get to help you enjoy that experience. But let's be honest, we have that on Xbox 360 right now. I can access Facebook, I can access Twitter, I can access the internet through the internet browser. So nothing, and again, with your Kinect, you can still, move through the menus, not as fluently as you can do on the Xbox One, but you can still do it on the Xbox 360. So my concern was, what are you providing us with that's going to actually make me want to go out and buy this new next-gen system? And then when you talk about games, this is what everyone wants to know about, but they didn't show any games. They had a representative from EA that came out, and he fucking sat there, and then he showed some video, and I'm just like, oh yeah, here we go, here come the games. And all we got is Robert Griffin III. By the way, huge Redskins fan, so it's not that I was upset that Robert Griffin III was out there. I was more upset at the fact that he wasn't showing any games. He was talking about football and talking about the little details about dashing and hot routes and shit like that. Showed John Bones Jones, representative from MMA. Again, one of my favorite MMA fighters next to Anderson Silva. Anderson Silva, pound for pound, best fighter in the world. Just saying. And they talked a little bit about soccer. They had some soccer guy. I'm not really huge into soccer, so I wasn't really paying attention to that. But then they didn't show any in-game footage. All they showed was these little CGI like trailers, and we've all seen this before. Every single year they show these like crazy moves and all this stuff that goes on in these games, and then the game end product never looks like that. So again, showing us that did nothing for me, because I'm just like, yeah, you guys are just trying to make this thing look pretty. This isn't my first real year. I know what the hell is going on. So that kind of pissed me off. Then they talked about Halo. Then, Steven Spielberg comes out, and, he's talking about Halo, and we're all thinking it's a Halo game, Halo. Especially between the fact that Halo 4 had the crappiest ending of all time. When I heard that the next gen systems were coming out, it almost explained the reason why the ending for Halo sucked so hard, because I probably figured that they were spending more time on the next gen Halo, so they kind of just wrapped this other one up. But no, they didn't talk about Halo. They talked about Halo, but it was a Halo live-action TV series that Steven Spielberg is apparently directing. Again, cool, but I'm here to talk about games. I'm not here to talk about a fucking TV series. I'm like, give me a fucking break here. Come on. So, and again, they did give us, and then this is the funny part. So then, the last part of the presentation that they talked about is Call of Duty Ghosts. So again, they went through this 10, 15 minute, back scene thing where they talk about the development of the game, and then they ended the actual show with a Call of Duty Ghosts trailer that showed off the new graphics. Again, no in-game gameplay, but just like a CGI trailer. Again, really didn't impress me. I'm a Call of Duty fan. I own most of the Call of Duty franchise, or at least have played them all. And again, like I said, I wasn't super impressed because I want to see in-game footage. And again, I'm like, I am a gamer, so I want to see the games. And that's the whole point. I feel like what Microsoft is doing is they're trying to put all their eggs in one basket, which in fairness is a smart thing to do, because again, you don't want to get that whole piece of the pie, because gamers, we don't necessarily count for the entire market. But here's the thing that Microsoft keeps forgetting. We are the ones that keep you guys afloat. We do. So all these other people that are buying Xbox 360s just to play Netflix or access Hulu and all that other stuff, do you really think they're going to go out and buy this Xbox One? No. They're not going to go out and spend another $400, $500, whatever you guys decide to charge for, because I know you ain't going to charge $300. I can tell you that right now. There's no way this new Xbox is going to cost $300. No way. This thing is going to cost between $400 and $500, and you really think these people who bought the other Xbox at like $100 to $200 are then going to go back out and buy another one just so they can watch Netflix and be able to switch in between their TV and their Xbox at the same time? They're not. You guys did not provide them with enough content to spend extra money, and that's the same fucking problem that Nintendo has. It's the same problem. You sit here and you came out with the Wii, and yes, Nintendo sold a lot of fucking Wiis. I think they sold like 100 million Wiis, but that's why they're in the end, even with 100 million Wiis sold, you fucking still suck. The last 3 years of the Wii's lifespan was garbage. Garbage. You know why? Because you didn't have the games. You didn't have the support of the third-party people, and you fucking paid for it. So then now all the Wii is to people is a paperweight. People may log on and play Wii Sports every now and again. They may play Smash Brothers, or they may even play some Mario Kart. But guess what? The hardcore gamers like myself, we're still here. I haven't played my Nintendo Wii in like 3 years. I'm being honest with you. 3 years. I haven't even bought the Wii U. I refuse to buy the Wii U because I feel like they did it again. There's nothing that Nintendo has shown me that would make me want to buy the Wii U. And I refuse. I'm not going to be that kind of gamer anymore that just buys video game systems just because I need to stay up with the in crowd. I'm not going to do that. You have to show me something in order for me to purchase your product. And as it stands right now, Microsoft has not done that. Not in the least. Some of the rumors that, again, people are probably asking you what you showed up, you're hating on Microsoft. No, I'm not. Again, like I said, if you want to look at my video game collection, 95% of these games are Xbox games. I'm a huge Xbox 360 fan, but they just crossed that line and I don't think they can come back from. And again, this is the bulk of my rant for this situation. So the presentation ends, and they didn't really talk about anything that people really wanted to know. Is this system going to be backwards compatible? Does the system have to require to be online all the time? What's this business about cloud gaming? They kept saying, oh, this is going to be your system for cloud gaming. What are the situations going to be going on with used games? And in regards to, again, like I said, just all these other little peripheral situations that again, in my opinion, were deal breakers for me. I'm just being honest with you. Like, for me, I was like, I'm not dealing with any system that requires me to be online consistently. Like, yes, I typically have my systems connected to the internet, but I can tell you for sure that I have Comcast, and my internet speeds dip considerably at times, to the point where I can't even stream videos on YouTube. So I can only imagine how that would affect my gameplay if the system was required to be online at all times. And as you guys can tell, I'm in the basement area. You can see up top, there's my projector. I have a projection screen in my basement. If the Kinect sensor isn't wireless, how the hell am I supposed to hook that up? My Xbox 360 and my PlayStation 3 are behind here. My TV is over here. So how the hell am I supposed to hook this shit up? So I'm like, these are the kind of things that I have to think about when I'm deciding whether or not I'm going to buy this system. Now, some of the other things that I mentioned before, they have had answers to. So after the presentation, they did come out and Microsoft did say that your system does not have to be connected at all times to play games. Keep in mind, it says you don't have to be connected to play games. That does not mean that your Kinect, the actual Kinect, doesn't have to be, because the Kinect itself has to be attached to the to the Xbox 360 in order to work. So in my case, if I didn't want to use the Kinect features, I couldn't use the system at all. It's pointless. If your Kinect is not connected to the Xbox, not going to work. So that's definitely a downer for me. The other thing, like I said, the one good thing is that it doesn't require an online consistent connection, which is good. I still want to get more details on that to be clear. But the biggest thing that pisses me off is the fact that there will be, whether or not there will be used games available for or I shouldn't say used games, secondhand game sales. So we all knew that Microsoft was trying to get a handle on this, that they want to get a piece of this used game market, and they weren't getting it. Like, they were selling their games firsthand, and they were getting the sales from that. But then if we played the game and we didn't want it anymore, we would then take it to a GameStop. GameStop would give us a shitty price for it. And then, so we pay $60 for a game, GameStop will give you $20, and then they make 100% profit off of that. And then developers and Microsoft, none of them are making any money off of that. And they hated that. They were looking forward to this next generation solely to fix that problem. And that was causing a lot of risk between people because, again, we want the ability to do secondhand sales. If I buy a crappy game and I don't want it anymore, I shouldn't have to be forced to keep it. So that was one of the questions that was supposed to have been answered, but it wasn't. But luckily, after the show, that question had been answered. And the answer is yes, you will be able to play used games on the system, But here's the caveat, and here's the mind fuck. I just want to get ready to tell you guys this shit. Get this. So, you can play used games on the system, but here's the problem. Number one, you have to install the entire game on your video game system. Now, if you look at the specs for the Xbox One, it's going to come standard with 500 gigabytes of internal memory. And in general, every Blu-ray disc holds up to 50 gigs of space. So, by their standard definition, if you have to save every single game you buy, if I do the math, you have about 10 games before you already fill up the capacity of that hard drive. Now, they kept talking about this cloud saving and all this other stuff. And I can promise you what they plan on doing is trying to charge you a shitload of money so you can save all your data in the cloud. So you buy games, you save them to the cloud. And again, all this stuff is tied to your internet connection. So say you have an outage in your internet and all your stuff that's saved in the cloud, you don't have access to it at all. So it's just food for thought in that aspect. But again, I'm starting to digress a little bit. So essentially, what you do is you save the game onto the system. The disc then becomes obsolete. You don't need the disc anymore. It's going to be saved onto the system. So what they're saying is that, say for instance, you want to then go sell that game. You can then go take it to a GameStop, trade it into them. They'll give you money for it. They probably will still give you a crappy amount of money for it. And then when they resell it to that next person, when they go take it home and put it into their Xbox One, they then have to pay a fee. Now, they didn't talk about what this fee price was, and whether it's going to be $5 or it's going to be $10, but you have to pay, on top of getting raped at GameStop. So say you buy the game for $60. Then you play the game, you're done with the game, it's already taken up 50 gigabytes of space on your Xbox, and you say, you know what, I don't want to play this game anymore, I'm going to give it away. You then have to delete the game off your Xbox 360. Now, I guess you can probably keep it on it because it is your game. And then you can take the disc. So the disc is going to basically be an install-only disc. And then you can take that disc in a box and take it to a GameStop. You get to the GameStop, and they say, oh, okay, yeah, we'll give you $20 for that game. So then you give them the game, you lose out on the remaining amount of that money, and then you're done with the game. You still have it on your Xbox as far as I'm assuming. But then with Xbox, what GameStop is going to do is they're going to put that game in use. They're going to make profit off of that game again, and then whoever that next person is that buys that game secondhand, once they put that game into the Xbox, it'll know that they have already downloaded this game onto another person's Xbox. So then they're going to tell you, this is a secondhand game. You have to pay a fine of $10 to $15 in order to play this game and install it on your Xbox. So then on top of you getting screwed over at the GameStop, you're then getting screwed again by Microsoft because you're going to have to pay them again just to have that game installed in your system because you bought it secondhand. Ain't that some shit? That's some shit. Right? I'm like, yo, are you serious? So I get fucked in the ass once at GameStop. Then I get fucked in the ass again once I bring the game home because you guys are going to probably charge me $10 to $20 to be able to download this game onto my system again. It's going to take up more space. Good job, Microsoft. You guys rock. Not. And if you don't know, that was sarcasm. So, these are just this is where my anger comes from, because me personally, I am a smart gamer. I've become a smart gamer. I can consider myself a smart gamer, and I've been that way for some time now. And when I say I'm some smart gamer, I try games before I buy them. I am a huge advocate of GameFly. I have a 4-game plan. I have 4 games on my list right now. When those games come out, they ship on that Sunday. I get them by Wednesday. So I don't get them the day they come out, but I get them by Wednesday. I play the game, and if I love it, I buy it. If I don't like it, I send that shit back. It's a win-win. Like, for instance, got Tomb Raider. Loved that game. Loved that fucking game. I can't even express how much I loved the new Tomb Raider game. Beat the game, bought the game. It's mine. Then I got Injustice: Gods Among Us. Got it on PlayStation 3. Got the game, played the game, beat the game in about 5 hours, and I kind of lost interest in it. I didn't really feel like going online and, fighting people and have them leave the match, halfway through when they're getting their ass kicked. I play with all the characters. I had my fill. I'm not as big of a fighting game player as much as I used to be. Didn't feel like I wanted to buy the game. So guess what? I sent it back. Got a new game coming in the mail. I'm just waiting for The Last of Us. At this point, I'm just waiting to play The Last of Us on the PlayStation 3. And to be honest with you, The Last of Us is the kind of game that I would actually go out and buy day one. I don't even need to wait for it to come out on for GameFly. I mean, I might still do it that way, but The Last of Us is definitely the game. If there was like some sort of like really cool swag that came along with it, I'll go out and buy that game day one. No problem. But again, it's my choice. So if I feel like when I'm in power, I can go ahead and make those decisions to say, hey, I'm going to pay this amount, and hey, I'm not going to pay this amount, or I'm not going to keep this game. But with this, the way they're trying to do this new Xbox system, they're trying to take the control away from you, and I don't like that. I don't like it at all. Again, I feel like I've been ranting on for a while. This video is starting to drag on a little bit, so I'm going to kind of, cut to the chase. Like, right now, as it stands, I was not overall impressed with the presentation from Microsoft. I thought they could have done a lot more to try to impress the gamers. I felt like they were reaching out to everybody else. They don't respect us gamers. I don't like that. I feel like we've gotten you guys to where you are right now, and we deserve more respect than what you guys have given us. And I think we need to start voting with our wallets, and when we don't like shit, don't pay for it. Don't be that ignorant gamer that just goes out and buys shit just because you want to say you're a gamer. If you don't like something, don't buy it, because that's the only way we're going to teach them a lesson. That's the only thing they're going to respect from us is our wallet. They know there's going to already be a 30% of people, no matter what they do, is going to go out and buy these next-gen systems. They don't give a fuck about us, or that percentage. I'm not saying I'm looped into that percentage, so I'm not going to do it. I swore to this day that I would never buy a PlayStation Vita, and I actually like some things that the Vita is doing, and I still refuse to buy a PlayStation Vita because of the memory card situation that they're doing. I'm not going to get into that, though. But again, I'm voting with my wallet. I'm showing these companies that you're not going to sit there and not bring me a subpar experience. Because honestly, the bottom line is, what did they show that would make me spend another $400 to get a new system? Nothing. They didn't show me anything. Everything they showed could potentially be done on the Xbox 360, but they're just choosing to do it on the Xbox One. There's nothing. There's no new immersive, like, necessary experience they provided me with, and that's sad. It really is. But I've rambled enough. I'm ready to hear what you guys thought of the presentation. Let me know in the comment section below. Definitely thumbs up the video. Get my stuff out there to the people, and subscribe to my channel. I'm going to start talking a little bit more about video games and things of that nature. So definitely subscribe to my channel to stay updated. Again, this is Showing Off the King, the one and only, and you guys have a fantastic day.